Today, let's dive into the latest with SoFi, a company that's had quite a remarkable day in the market. Hello everyone, welcome to Daily Stock Update. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads and also enter our giveaway. But before that, alert, this is not a financial advice video. SoFi recently saw a jump of 4.89%, which is pretty impressive, even reaching a new 52-week high of 11.30 cents. A few factors are driving this momentum, including some industry trends and broader economic data that's come out stronger than expected. It seems the broader market is shifting towards a growth phase, which is great news for companies like SoFi that are all about growth potential. Looking at the volume of shares traded, SoFi experienced some serious interest, with a trading volume that hit around 71.9 million, while the typical daily average is closer to 45.8 million. And it wasn't just small individual transactions, there were some significant trades throughout the day. Large institutional trades are putting more and more eyes on SoFi, as even big money players are clearly seeing potential here. This shows a lot of confidence from investors, even though some selling did happen throughout the day, likely causing minor pullbacks. But overall, interest in SoFi appears to be skyrocketing. In many of my previous discussions about SoFi, I've had people ask, what does this momentum mean for the company, especially as we approach earnings season? Historically, SoFi has had a pattern of climbing before earnings, only to pull back afterward. This cycle isn't unusual, but there's something different in the air this time. The appetite for risk in the market seems to be stronger, and we're seeing some big moves across growth stocks, which often drives a ripple effect. People are wondering, will SoFi surge even higher, or is it likely to settle back down? On the topic of institutional moves, we've seen a mix of trades with both optimism and caution. It looks like a lot of major investors have been hedging their positions, possibly anticipating different outcomes after earnings are released. Although there's clear optimism in some large-scale trades, there are also some who are preparing for the chance of a price correction. While options trading reflects sentiment and doesn't directly influence the stock's price, it's an interesting indicator of where investors think SoFi could head in the near term. Even with this tug-of-war between bullish and bearish outlooks, overall enthusiasm about SoFi continues. Based on options activity, the target price for SoFi in the short term appears to be around $12, with some estimates even projecting a rise to $12.50. If that trend continues, SoFi could potentially see more upward movement. There's also an optimistic outlook for the long term, with some speculating that SoFi could surpass $13 by early next year. This shows that a lot of people are betting on SoFi's growth, even beyond the usual earnings-driven fluctuations. Tomorrow marks the end of the trading week, and while it's always hard to predict exact outcomes, current market sentiment shows there isn't much resistance blocking SoFi's rise. If strong buying continues, we could very well see SoFi break past some key levels, possibly climbing to 11, 12s, or maybe even hitting the $13 range in the coming weeks. Right now, SoFi's price is sitting around $10.93, and as the day progresses, investors are keeping a close eye on a few support and resistance levels, as these can often play a big role in any price movements. Another factor to consider is that SoFi remains above key moving averages, showing a lot of strength compared to broader trends. Although overbought signals are flashing, which means a pullback could be on the horizon, this overbought status isn't isolated to SoFi. Many stocks across the board are showing similar patterns, so any pullback would likely be more of a general market adjustment rather than something specifically concerning for SoFi. This stock has had a strong run, gaining 40% over the past month alone. Even looking at a longer time frame, SoFi has been up about 43% in the past 6 months, and just this past week it rose over 5%. This is the classic definition of FOMO, or fear of missing out, where people feel an urgent need to get in on the action as prices continue climbing. Speaking of FOMO, recent analysis pointed out that retail investors, people like you and me, seem to be jumping back in with enthusiasm. What's interesting is how retail interest often lags. When SoFi was priced in the $6 to $8 range, retail investors were hesitant. Now that it's reached the $10 mark, interest has exploded. It seems a little backwards, but it's a trend that happens often. Big money typically gets in first, scooping up shares before the news spreads widely, and then once the stock starts making headlines, retail investors start buying in. Looking ahead, it's worth considering how earnings could affect SoFi's performance. Do you think we'll see a squeeze or a significant price surge after earnings, and do you believe SoFi can actually reach $13 by January? It's a possibility some big investors seem to be betting on, but as always, the market is unpredictable. SoFi's got a lot of growth ahead, and many investors believe it's well positioned to capitalize on future opportunities. That's where things stand with SoFi today. A lot of enthusiasm, some caution, and an underlying feeling that this stock could go even higher. Friends, that's all we have for you today. What is your opinion about today's video? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.